Bryson. Don't move.
Hey, what's going on here?
Mrs. Bryson, put down that syringe.
What's the matter with you, Gideon? We're taking care of them.
No, well, maybe he wants to do it himself, Mrs. B.
Dr. Bryson, over there with your wife. You too. Now, Mrs. Bryson, put down that syringe on the table. Very carefully.
What are you doing?
Oh, Mike, thank heaven you're here.
April, what about Cleveland?
Well, he's breathing, but he's unconscious. What made you come in here?
April, call me. I'll explain the rest later.
Yo, well, who the hell are you, mister? What happened to Gideon?
He's her husband, Sharpie.
He's a DA? Well, what happened to Gideon? Where is he?
Your patient is resting comfortably, Dr. Bryson, in a local jail.
Honey, how did that happen? And how did you get in here?
It's a long story, darling. And we'd be very interested in hearing your story, Dr. Bryson, when you tell it to the police.
Yo, wait a minute. I think there's been a major misunderstanding. See, I just work at the hospital. I have nothing to do with these guys.
Don't you think it's a little bit late for that now, Sharpie? Oh, wait. Draper? Mike, we've got to help him.
You two. Get him up on the table, carefully.
Watch your head, Careful. Careful.
You've got to get him to a doctor.
I am a doctor, Mr. Carr.
Oh?
Even though under the circumstances it may be difficult to believe, I am quite qualified to take care of your friend here.
April, I think it's all right.
Very well, Dr. Bryson.
The great healer. Proud of yourself, Kitty.
No, Beth? No more pride. None at all.
Now, wait a minute. Come on, what right do you have to be sore? You're the one who's causing the problem.
Oh, yes, that's right. Blame me for everything.
Hey, you went out and bought your entire trousseau. You told everybody you know, including the newspapers, that we're getting married in a week or so. And yet you still won't even pick the day.
So why should it be my responsibility?
I've offered 3 different dates. You've turned each one down for some inane reason.
Oh, I see. You have such a busy schedule. The important chief of police. Well, I happen to have a busy schedule, too, and it's just as important to me.
Yeah, your hairdressing appointments take priority over the wedding ceremony.
I give up.
Look, honey, I've tried to be flexible. I told you if you get married on Friday, I can take off the whole week for a honeymoon. But you'd like a honeymoon.
We don't have any reservations.
The first reservation we have to make is for the ceremony itself.
You told me the mayor was going to do it at City Hall.
Believe it or not, even the mayor has a schedule. He's not sitting around waiting for us. He doesn't just cut ribbons at construction sites.
I don't know what to do. I'm so confused.
Hey, wait a minute. What is it you're confused about, huh? Is it about the date or is it about the marriage itself? I asked you a question. Come on.
What was the question?
I want to know why you keep putting this off. I'm beginning to think there's a not-so-hidden meaning behind it.
I knew you'd say something like that. You have absolutely no faith in me.
I have faith in you. It ain't easy.
Maybe you should try a little harder.
Hello. Mallory.
Derek, it's Mike Carr.
Hello, Mike. How are you? What's happening?
You'd better hold on to something. I've got some incredible news for you.
What's going on? I had to leave the office a few hours early. I had to come home and take care of some personal...
Yes, I know you did, because I called headquarters to try to borrow one of your officers, Calvin Stoner. Under the circumstances, I didn't think you'd mind.
Borrow Calvin? For what?
Derek, Nancy is alive.
What did you say?
Nancy is alive. And she's with me right now.
Mike, where are you?
At a small hospital. Private hospital called Rexford Clinic in East Meadows.
Wait a minute, you're not telling about Nancy. How is she?
She's all right. She's all right. The important thing is she's alive. She was being held here. The people who were holding her are now in custody, and so is someone else you know.
Is that?
A man named Ira Gideon.
Ira Gideon, for crying out loud, Mike, Mike, I'm coming out there.
I'll tell you the rest of the story when you get here. I've got something much more important to do right now. Goodbye.
We're supposed to go out to dinner.
You're going to have to go out and have dinner by yourself tonight. This is very important.
Oh, more important than me.
Yes, it's more important than you. When I come home, I want something from you. I want a commitment on a date.
I won't be here when you get back.
Then leave me a note.
I knew the minute you called that I had to do something. I just couldn't stand the idea of you being in danger. This is good for you.
I never said I was in danger. I just said that there was another bandaged patient here at the hospital.
Look, what I don't understand is how come you didn't find Nancy the first day you were here, the first day you walked in masquerading as Richie Johnson?
They transferred her. She wasn't in room 210. They had another patient there, a charity case named Cora Allen.
So what happened to her?
Well, they transferred her out of here. And of course, by that time, I assumed that you were just seeing things.
All the time Nancy was here, she was just locked up in another room.
Yeah. Valerie Bryson, she gave me that clue.
Bryson's daughter, I forgot all about her. Did I tell you that she came to see me today at Sid's?
Well, she told me that she saw you. She said that she saw her father lock another patient in a room. I had to see for myself. And then when I did see the patient, I had the same feeling about it that you did.
Woman reminded you of Nancy.
But I wasn't sure. That's why I asked you to hold off on the police.
Well, obviously, I should have called the police. At least I called Mike. But I had no idea that he was going to come out here or that he was going to bring the police with him.
Mike, how did he get here? I mean, wrapped up like Gideon.
I don't know. I don't care. I'm just grateful that he did get here. Without exaggeration, I think this is the worst nightmare I've ever had in my life. Sharky, the gun, that maniac woman running around with a hypodermic needle.
I never did like needles.
At first, that was going to be our plan. Calvin and I were just going to try to break into this place. We didn't know any other way of going about it.
Well, honey, I really don't think that would have worked with that electrified fence outside. Anyway, by the time you'd have gotten inside the building, they probably would have had us hidden somewhere.
I realize that now. But we got lucky. Just as we arrived, somebody else was arriving, too. We saw this black limousine with a very strange figure behind the wheel, a man in bandages.
Mm-hmm. That was Ira Gideon. He had gone for the money. He'd promised the Brysons $1 million.
And he had the money with him, although we didn't know that until Calvin flashed his badge and the man panicked.
I'm sure he did.
So Calvin asked him to get outside the car. When he did that, Gideon reached for the suitcase full of money. I've got to hand it to Calvin. He didn't demand to inspect the case. Mallory trains his people too well for that. He politely asked him what was inside the suitcase.
I hope that man was scared to death.
Well, he must have been, because that's when he made his mistake. He tried to drive away. Now, he had broken the law, resisting an officer. The rest was simple. We took him into custody, even though we didn't know who this man who kept calling himself Kincaid was, but Calvin had a hunch it just might be Gideon.
Mm-hmm. And so you put on his bandages.
It was the perfect way to get inside this place. Obviously, they were expecting a bandaged man in a black limousine who smoked cigars. But they didn't know who was under the bandages. When I met that orderly, what was his name, Sharky, at the gate, he called me Gideon. Then I knew that we were up against desperate people.
Uh-huh. Did it occur to you that you could have been killed?
Honey, I was never in any danger.
Oh.
I was lucky. And I'm still lucky. Matter of fact, I think I'm the luckiest man in this world.
Oh, God.
My God, it's really true.
Oh, Calvin. Oh, Calvin. Oh, I'm so grateful to you.
Oh, nonsense. I didn't do a
know.
thing. No, it's your husband here who's the hero. He was the one who decided to dress up like Ira Giddy. It was all his idea. Actually, I might have tried it, but something told me I wouldn't have gotten away with it. No, we aren't going to have any trouble at all getting our little birds to sing. As a matter of fact, the biggest problem the local police have right now is getting Matthew Sharkey to shut up.
I imagine he's trying to justify his part in this.
Oh, wait a minute. He was part of it. Maybe he wasn't part of Gideon's escape plan, but he was the one they used to keep me from causing any trouble.
Well, we'll be causing them trouble now, believe me.
You know, I had a feeling all this time that Gideon was still in this area. But the one guy I really don't understand is that Dr. Bryson. I mean, he just sits there, doesn't say anything, stares at the ground. Do you know he had a daughter in town?
I knew he had a daughter. I didn't know she was in town.
Yeah, well, she's staying at the East Meadow Hotel. We've been in touch with her. Doesn't seem, as far as we can tell anyway, that she had anything to do with this. She just got back from Switzerland where she'd been living.
It's good that there's somebody for him. I'm not saying that he's not to blame. He is, along with the rest of them, but he isn't like the others, Mrs. Bryson and Sharkey and Gideon.
Nancy, what do you mean?
Oh, honey, it's such a long story.
Yeah, we'll need to hear the whole story, Nancy, as soon as you're strong enough. Especially the big question, which is what you were doing here in the first place. I mean, whatever made you come to the Rexford clinic?
Well, that man you just arrested, Matthew Sharkey, I came to find him. I certainly saw a lot more of him than I expected. Hello, Chief.
My God, Nancy. Mike, I thought you got off the deep end when you told me Nancy was still alive.
Well, there's only one reason I am alive, and it's because of him. And Detective Stone. I hope he gets a promotion because of this.
And apparently you had 2 volunteers, too, Derek. April and Draper Scott.
You know, it's not just Nancy's problems that are over. It's ours as well.
Yeah, Draper, look, don't think about that. Just try to relax.
No, I don't want to relax. I want to talk. Sharkey did have the affair with Emily at the Hathaway?
Something like that. There's no question about it now.
Then he is the father of the baby. How did he manage it?
Well, I can tell you exactly how he managed it. Listen, I might even be able to show you. Yep.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why, this doesn't explain it all to you?
No.
I know it's a bit far-fetched, but Sharkey just pinned one of these outside Emily's door and it kept everyone out. I know that for a fact because he told me, he boasted to me about it when he thought it didn't matter anymore whether or not I knew, and it doesn't matter. Look, all that matters right now is that, look at me, I want you to get well. So that we go home, okay?
Oh, my head.
Sky?
Who's this?
How soon they forget. It's Raven Swift.
Oh, well, I used to know someone by that name, but I would have thought she had changed it by now.
Well, that's what she's going to do, and that's why she called.
Oh.
Yes, I wanted to extend a personal invitation to my wedding.
I'm flattered.
Well, don't be. I'm extending a personal invitation to everyone. We didn't have time to print the invitation.
Well, you see, it doesn't really matter in my case. I assume that the wedding is going to be in the next 2 or 3 weeks?
Oh, it's going to be as soon as possible, barring any unforeseen circumstances.
Well, I'm going to have to regretfully decline any invitation. You see, I'm going to be very, very busy in the next few weeks, maybe even for the whole month.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm. I hope that doesn't spoil the entire occasion for you.
Well, why should it?
Well, won't it take the fun out of it? Not having me in the audience? Not being able to smile at me triumphantly and say, look, Sky, I married a much better man than you.
Quite frankly, I don't want you at my wedding at all. I was just trying to be polite.
Sorry, darling. I'm going to have to politely decline.
The fact that I am marrying Derek Mallory doesn't mean anything to you, does it? You don't even give a damn.
Of course I do. Well, listen, I'll tell you what. Since it is so important to you, I will come to the cell.
You're so kind.
Oh, well, there is one thing. Well, you don't mind if I bring someone to you. There's this lovely new dancer that I've been seeing.
I've just withdrawn the invitation. I don't think I'm ever going to let you go. Just want to keep holding on, make sure you're real.
No, I'm real, all right. And we are finally together.
You thought I was dead, didn't you? Could you have thought otherwise?
There were times I thought you were gone. People tried to convince me of that, to make me accept reality, but I never really did.
You know, that was the worst part for me. Knowing that you must have thought I was dead.
But you're alive, darling. I can feel your heart beating. And for the first time in weeks, I'm alive, too.
No, you don't. The doctor said you are to stay still for at least an hour.
Well, what doctor?
Bryson. Yeah, I'm afraid he's the one who took care of you until the police got here.
It's ironic. The man that I put away tried to help me out.
You didn't know he had anything to do with this, did you? Not until today, anyway.
Oh, April, I didn't know what was going on in this place until I talked to Nancy. Look, why didn't I listen to you right from the very beginning when you told me there was somebody here that reminded you of Nancy?
I told you, Mother knows best.
Oh, I want to go home.
I did, too. But Draper, you do have a slight concussion. You gotta take it easy.
I'll be fine, just as soon as I get home. All three of us are together.
Think we'll recognize Julia? I don't think she'll recognize us.
Yeah, I can't wait to see her. And there's somebody else that I have to see, too.
Who?
Emily. I can't believe it. She's growing so fast. Getting prettier every day. Look at that face. Look at it.
You're welcome. Yes, we're lucky she remembers our face. Did you think we'd left you for good?
Well, one of these days when she's bigger, we'll tell her exactly what happened, why we had to leave.
Yeah. My old daddy's got a big bump on his head. You sure you're feeling all right?
Don't remind me. Yeah, it's okay. I don't think I'm really up to doing a full day's work, though.
I wouldn't let you.
But I have to get out of the office for just a little while. I'll talk to Cliff, and that'll give us the rest of the afternoon together.
Oh, yeah, look at this. I would like that. Listen, I'm going to go out for a little bit this morning. Nicole coming home today, and I want to get her a welcome home gift. Maybe I'll get a welcome home gift for you. You want a welcome home gift, too? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You've given me the only welcome home gift I've ever wanted. I can't believe it. We're having another baby.
I know, it's amazing. And all those doctors who said I'd never have a baby. I'm going to call the doctor. Baby. You're supposed to have a baby.
That's the phone we're not going to answer.
Okay. A Scott resident.
The one thing we're not going to do is talk to the press. Would you want some milk? Want some milk?
Well, I'm not sure Mr. Scott wishes to speak to you.
Who is it?
Mrs. Michaels. I told you didn't want to take her call.
No. Mrs. Timmons, I will talk to her. Thank you. Emily, it's Draper.
Oh, Draper, I thought I saw your car drive in last night. I'm so glad you're back.
I'm glad to be home, too.
I just can't wait to see you. Draper, you're not staying at the penthouse now, are you? I mean, April and you aren't back together or anything.
Why don't I talk to you about that in person, all right?
Do you mean it?
Yeah, sure. Look, I'll be down in a few minutes, okay?
Sure, that's wonderful. I'll see you in a few minutes. Bye.
Now, wait a minute, sweetheart. I can't arrange to have